All right, folks, welcome into another exciting episode of Tusketeer Hogcast. I'm your host, Bones. We've got Buck next to me, and the setting might look a little bit different because we've got the one and only
prettier face up here.
What prettier face than Camo? We've got Roy Drew. I'm not going to say his last name in case he doesn't want me to, a.k.a. Hogzilla. Go follow him on Twitter. And Camo is on the road. He's here with us as well. Camo, if you can hear us, say a little something. I'm going to take that as he does not have good service. Him and his son are headed to Green Bay, Wisconsin to watch the Green Bay Packers and the Miami Dolphins on Thanksgiving Day tomorrow. So
put your hearing aids in, Pappy.
Camo, I don't know. We can't hear you. Maybe try calling in if you want to and just have you, we'll get Buck's phone Bluetooth. Buck, go to your Bluetooth and get it connected to the Roadcaster here. Anyway, so Drew's filling in on set tonight for Camo. We'll try to get Camo on here when he can. Yeah, try to restart it. Anyway, so hey, Thanksgiving is tomorrow. While we're trying to work on this, we got playing tomorrow.
Man, I'm gonna crush some deviled eggs.
Oh, yeah.
You already know that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna help. Got a brine turkey. We're gonna do a little smokeless fry on, or sorry, the oilless fry, not smokeless fry. A little oilless fry going on.
Yeah.
Get some sports going on, some card games, just all the good stuff. Might catch a nap during the Dallas game.
It's a big good time. Although the Razorbacks basketball plays at 3.
Well, they do.
So,
yeah, I'm gonna have to get like a 2-stream thing going on and bring my laptop.
There you go.
Sit in the corner, but it's just food and sports and family, man.
Yeah, it's not connected.
Is it not?
I don't know. It's not even. Oh, there it goes.
Yeah. Here, try it again. Sorry, folks. Hey, just bear with us. Slow start here. We're trying to get Camo. Text Camo. Tell him if he wants to be on, he's probably going to have to call you, and we'll just get him on here. So, all right. Well, hey, Hogs pull out the dub last week against La Tech, 35-14. Slow start, I think most people would agree. I think some people were even somewhat worried about how we started. Taylor Green throwing the interception right there toward the beginning. Defense looked good, as always. Outside of that, we finally started pulling away. And, unfortunately, we didn't get to do a cast last week, so we didn't get to talk much about the Texas game. That was a very surprising game.
We got Josh calling.
All right. Josh, Camo.
What up?
There he is. What's going on, brother?
Everybody hear him?
Yeah, I got him.
Oh, how y'all guys doing?
Man, we're doing good. We can't see you on the screen, but we got you here, so we'll take it. We'll take it. Where y'all at right now?
It was buffering. It wasn't working. We were trying to get it to work, and it's just not cooperating. So
yeah,
technology is a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Where y'all at on the road? Headed to Green Bay? Where you at?
We are in Bloomington, Illinois.
Bloomington, Illinois. You know where that's at, don't you?
I know where Illinois is, and I never want to go there. It's a horrible
You're
place.
using hands free, right? Safety first.
Hands free. You're over the speakers in the truck. We're in State Farm headquarters in Bloomington, Illinois, here on I-55, headed north to the frozen tundra. We're going to the Packers game tomorrow, so
UNG.
gonna be exciting.
What up, G?
Oh yeah,
Packers game. That's better than the Cowboys.
I mean, the Cowboys-Giants game tomorrow is probably going to be the worst game tomorrow.
Well, I mean, it could also be very competitive because it's two struggling teams at the bottom of the division, and sometimes those games sometimes work out good, like a little Tuesday night action. There was a good game between Akron and Toledo last night. A lot of people missed.
Yeah, I didn't catch that one.
I didn't either.
But yeah, I mean, so Miami's traveling to the frozen tundra of Green Bay, going to Lambeau Field. Tyreek Hill and Tua Tagovailoa, or however you say his name, is going to try to battle the cold bitterness. Is it going to snow? Is there snow in the forecast? Camo G?
yeah. It's some lake wind advisory, snow chances. Nothing heavy, but it gets cold enough up there. Miami, it was 80 degrees in Miami today, and they're coming to a very warm 30-degree game time start tomorrow. So about 40-degree difference.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you got your coats and your long johns and
Well, overcast or not, we know one person that's going to be seeing stars. Tua.
Hey, Bones, if
I mean,
hey, if he sees stars one more time, he's probably done.
yeah, I would be.
you may want to change that screen now that I ain't on here,
What screen?
if you can. The screen's still split like I was
Like you
going to
can't
show
see
up,
me?
but
Well, on our end,
camera-
it's not. It just shows Drew. Drew had to join on his computer so he could hear the whole thing.
oh,
So it's split with Drew right now.
what's up, Drew?
What's up, Josh? Y'all having a good trip, dude?
Oh man, we're trying to make it here.
Awesome.
We got the pedal to the metal.
There you go.
Awesome.
There you go. 2 hands, 10 and 2. Put the beer down.
Safety third.
I'm more like right at 12 o'clock. I don't have 10 and 2. I'm just straight up 12 o'clock right now.
Yeah, there you go. Well, like I was saying, we kept it close with Texas 2 weeks ago. Slow start last week, Law Tech. I mean, we can just jump into the Mizzou game. How are we feeling about this weekend? We're going into Columbia. We've never won out there. I think Mizzou's won, same stat as most teams, 8 of the last 9, something to that effect. There's snow in the forecast for the start of the game at 2:30. I don't think the cold affects us really.
No.
I think it's cold up there. How are we feeling?
Well, who wants to go first?
Go for it.
I mean, I'm a bit of an optimistic. I feel like we have just as good a shot as anybody. Missouri has struggled weekly. The only teams they've dominated have been the Cupcakes. And as far as SEC games, their biggest win so far has been Mississippi State.
Yeah.
And that's Mississippi State. So that kind of goes without saying. I think as far as our offense versus their defense, depending on what kind of stuff Petrino has schemed up, we might have some opportunities to get some stuff going. You're going to see them in 4-2. A lot of times they're going to be in nickel an awful lot. They sub in defensive backs a lot. They're not huge on defense.
Yeah.
They're very athletic, so they make plays that way. And they're going to run a lot of cover 3. So you're going to be able to you're going to have to attack vertically against cover 3. We know Petrino in the past has not been afraid to attack vertically. I've not really seen the stats from this year. You're going to have to hit seams. It's going to have to be quick reads against a lot of zone coverage. I'm not sure how much they're going to man us up. When they do man us up, they might bring pressure because our offensive line has struggled here and there. And also against the defense and stuff they're going to be running, they can be susceptible to the outside run. That being said, the main bit of our outside run game is either when we go, inside off tackle and we bust one and get outside the box and hit upfield, or Taylor Green pulling it on any read play. It doesn't have to be a zone. you can read off of nearly any play in a playbook. You can unblock somebody and read something. And this involves RPO type stuff. You don't have to read a guy on the line of scrimmage. It can be the end or the defensive tackle on any given play. You can read the linebackers. There are lots of different things we can do. And I feel a little bit confident that Petrino might have something good rolled up his sleeve here, but we can't afford to have the start that we did similar to Louisiana Tech.
Yeah.
If we start like we did against Tech, we are in dog trouble. I'm not worried about their crowd. They're not an intimidating crowd.
No, their stadium's terrible.
Their teams play well at home. That's the home field
Yeah.
advantage, is how the team plays.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think we might have a shot.
Hey, Camo, when you're not talking, go ahead and mute on your end because we got a lot of road noise coming. So hit mute and then unmute when you're ready to talk. No, I agree. It's not an intimidating place to play. I think it holds about the size of War Memorial, about 50,000.
Let's figure out what their capacity is.
But I'm tired of, and I know we all are, but I'm tired of losing to these guys. I mean, we've lost to them when we honestly shouldn't have. I know we won in 2021 at home. That was, I think, Burks, last year had a really good breakout game that year, and I was there. But, hey, the last few Razorback games I've been to, we won. Maybe I need to take a trip up there.
For a road trip.
Let's go. But, yeah, no, you're right. We can't start slow. We've got to start. I mean, to the opposite of on the offensive discussion, the defensive discussion with T. Will and his guys. I mean, I don't know if you saw Eli's presser about Arkansas. He obviously that's the big talk. Mispronounced Talon's name as Talon. What joke? The dude's from Arkansas. Acts like he doesn't know. He's talking about how Sam Pittman's the only coach in Arkansas history to go to a bowl game in 4 of the 5 years. Well, you've got Lou Holtz that did that. Houston Nutt's done that. I mean, it's not. He acts like he doesn't know who Arkansas is. I think he's doing it on purpose.
Absolutely, he's a troll.
But he is a troll, and he's honestly kind of I'm not going to say what I want to really say about him, but I think he's a little bit of a doucher. That's as nice as I can put it, because how he's chirping at the players.
Got suspended for school saying that word.
Doucher?
Well, not exactly.
You did?
Yeah, remember?
I don't remember that. But and then how he was chirping at Mississippi State, talking about, hey, shut the F up, I'll effing score. Like, dude, you're the head
I like
coach.
that. I like that, though.
But you're the head coach.
They're talking crap. They're talking crap. They're talking crap.
They might have been.
They're talking crap.
Let the players talk.
It's
Let them play.
Mississippi State.
Yeah, it was Mississippi State.
I know, but they were talking enough crap to make them mad, and I get where he's coming from. Like, shut up, play the game. Like, or I'm gonna actually try to score, because he wasn't trying to. And you're losing by a lot. Stop talking crap. I mean, especially Mississippi State's defense. I mean, come on.
Yeah, no, I get it. I see that, but at the same time,
I don't have a problem with it. So
he's probably in his 40s, talking to kids half his age.
Probably.
Let the players talk.
Yeah.
That'd be like a.
But that stuff fires the players up. I mean, if you see your coach doing that,
Sure.
would that not fire you up if you were a player on offense end?
Sure.
Being like, oh, yeah, my coach says if you don't shut up, we're going to go score. I mean, that would fire me up.
I mean, it kind of, in a way, when I saw that, it reminded me of when Coach Cal at Kentucky, when they were playing Arkansas, we were up big, got kicked out, and then they came back and won the game. That's similar, but he wasn't chirping at the Razorback players, Cal. He did it at the refs, obviously little bit different scenario setting, but I don't know. I don't agree with a coach, the head coach, chirping at kids half his age, telling them to shut the F up.
I see both sides of it, but for me, I don't have a problem with it.
I think
crazy.
if he already wasn't a certified Chad,
we don't know what was being.
No discussion.
We don't know what was being said also on the field.
Sure.
I mean, there could have been some personal stuff against some other players being said out there, and the coach stood up for his own players or something. I mean, we don't know.
There's that.
So
yeah, for sure. Camo, what do you think? What do you and G think about this week or about this weekend, and your thoughts on Drinkwitz?
Well, I really think Drew kind of really hit it all around on all cylinders there. I think he broke it down really well. It's kind of similar to how I feel about it. I mean, we've got 4 running backs healthy. So our four stable of running backs is there. I think Talon is probably the most athletic quarterback that Missouri's faced this year, if not one of them. So I do like the RPOs. I do like running the football, and I really hope Bobby, doesn't abandon the run.
He's definitely not the most athletic. That's all I have to say, because they played Alabama and Milrose, I think, more athletic. But
he's athletic, but he can't throw.
I never said he could throw. I said more athletic.
No, I'm just getting my digs in.
He could probably throw better in green, so, I mean, that's not saying much. But
well, I mean, maybe not the most, but probably, he's there at the top of who they face as far as athleticism as a quarterback.
Yeah, for sure.
And, so like I said, I like the RPO game. I do like, trying to take some shots. Hopefully we hand them the book of Eli. The Razorbacks do come.
The book of Bobby. The book of Bobby.
The book of whoop ass, hopefully. But like I said, I think Drew hit it on. The money. Sam even said when he met Eli for the first time at the SEC Media Days, his first year, he told Sam Pittman to his face he was going to try to stir the pot on this rivalry, and he's done everything he possibly could to stir the pot. I don't care for the guy, and I really hope. But of course, the Arkansas fans, we don't really have room to talk because we're so down in this rivalry. They pretty much had our number, but I got a good feeling. I really feel we're going to show up and do some things come Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I want to trying to figure out what I'm trying to say here.
Well, while you're trying to figure it out,
go ahead.
I haven't heard this mentioned yet, I don't think. Turnover ratio, they are +5 for the season, and we are -7. Mm-hmm. And so that is one key of the game. I think that if we tie or lose that aspect of the game, the turnover, ratio, then we're going to lose. I mean, we have to win that. Like I said, even like a one interception us and one interception them, I think, if it's tied 1-1, we're probably going to lose that game. We got to win the turnover battle.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Cook for the season's thrown 2 picks to Talon's 9. I mean, it obviously struggles up front caused, a few of those. And, last week there was no excuse.
And this was mentioned, obviously. I mean, our defense is going to have to show up.
Well, I think
without our defense, we're not going to win.
Well, the only game, in my opinion, where our defense hasn't shown up was the Ole Miss game. I mean, from start to finish.
Oklahoma State, they showed up in the first quarter.
I mean, we were up 21-0 that game, weren't we? 21-7.
Like I said, the first quarter they showed up.
First half.
The rest, I wouldn't even say that.
I'd call 21-7 your defense showing up.
Sort of.
Going into halftime.
The first quarter. Well, they scored a touchdown in the second, right? So they scored 38 points in 3 quarters and an overtime.
Yeah.
So our defense.
Okay, never mind. Well, still, first half. Either way, they still let up 38 that game, or 31, I guess. So there's been a few games where few halves they haven't shown up. Yeah. LSU, they really didn't show up, I didn't think.
Well, that game didn't pull away until the end of the third quarter, really.
So, it was a weird game.
Yeah, that was a weird game. But you said something earlier, Drew, that about our running backs have to get outside, this and that. I don't know if y'all have noticed, and I'm sure you have. I mean, we're all kind of football minded, but I mean, you're a former high school coach for a little bit, right?
I'm technically a retired educator, I guess.
Yeah. So you've got that mind, you got the eye. I've noticed when DeBinion has had the ball where he could have easily broken it out outside and tries to cut it in.
He doesn't trust the speed.
That's the thing. That's what I was going to say. I heard a saying maybe a week or two ago. Always trust your speed.
Yeah, I heard that saying too. Yeah. It was on the radio, and it was by the fastest running back we've ever had, Darren McFadden.
Yeah, McFadden.
I mean, that's one thing.
Right. It's always trust your speed. Yeah. So
it's easy for him to say.
Absolutely.
Right.
I mean, but I think it's true. I mean, I think there's been a couple of runs by even maybe JJ, but more recently, Rashad DeBinion, where it could have easily gotten more yards going outside rather than cutting it in. And while we're on the topic with running backs, Braylon Russell is 4th on the depth chart this week. what's happened? I mean, he went from stud in the Tennessee game to fourth on the depth chart.
I was hoping
Let me
that get brought
jump
up.
in
I
there
want to figure out
on that,
what's
Caleb.
going on because he brings a very special element in the way he attacks the game. He's big. He's hard to bring down, especially if Missouri's an undersized defense, which that helps us with Jaquindon Jackson being a larger running back. But, I mean, you put that guy in, and I think they might have problems bringing him down. And he's not afraid to try to take the corner.
Yeah.
He's not the fastest guy in the world at 250,
He's
but
quick.
he's not afraid to take the corner. Yeah, and he gets to top speed quick. He's kind of a one cut and downhill guy.
Yeah, he's not a 4.3 guy, but he's quick.
I mean, he's still good enough, for sure. I think we all agree there.
Yeah.
And I mean, an average defender, and I'm not trying to bash on Missouri's defense. It would make my day if some of their chirping, just louder than life fans come online, because those dudes love to run their mouth.
Yeah.
More than any sports team in America, I believe. I think any average defender, you take Braylon Russell on, he's breaking to the outside. He just gives you a little shake and shimmy, gives you a straight arm, a little arm bar, something like that. He's going to get an extra few yards on you. He can also lower his shoulder on you or something like that and just plow you. And that's another thing that Binion has. He is underrated physically. He's a pretty physical dude. I like Binion's game overall. And I think if we're going to win, it's going to take probably the combination of at least 2 running backs plus Talon having a good game, or 3 running backs on fresh legs, because that's how you beat a defense like Missouri is going to field. It's going to be quick hitting stuff. We can't have these long developing, outside zone and stuff like that where we're combo blocking and reading this and that. We need to be able to hit quick, quick inside,
and those quick
traps,
inside,
counters, all that quick stuff like there, or on the read option style stuff. You take a read, I say read option. It's not a technical term, but you take that option play and you let the quarterback and running back reverse roles, where the quarterback goes inside, the running back goes outside. That's called bash. If you do that, obviously you run the risk of your quarterback kind of getting inside amongst some dudes. You don't really love that, but it gives you a chance for your running backs to get outside. So I think whatever we do, it's going to have to be very quick hitting stuff. And the faster that your offense hits, as far as quick stuff, things like that, especially in the passing game, it helps your offensive line.
Yeah.
A ton.
Yeah. Absolutely. Camo, you were saying something. What?
Well, I was just going to comment on the Braylon Russell thing. I think it's a bit of a strategic play by the coaching staff. Braylon being a true freshman and us having a stable of 4 running backs, I really think they're trying to play the red shirt card on him. You can play up to 4 games and still play a red shirt, and I think he's technically played in 3. And I don't know where he stands on the red shirt part, but I think he's still capable or qualify for a red shirt if they've held him out like they have.
We got some fact checkers over here fact checking you, because I'm concerned too. I feel like he's played in more than 3, but I could be wrong. You might be right.
Well, and he may be right at that threshold on that 4th game, and if he plays another one, then that would obviously cancel out his opportunity to redshirt. And he even said on Twitter that he's healthy and he can play, and so he's ready to go. But I think it's a strategic play on the coaching staff to lean on Rodney Hill, to lean on Binion, and JJ obviously probably going to be gone after this year, and really save Braylon Russell for the future and get another year out of him. But I think Binion's good, but I think really the X factor running back in this matchup is Rodney Hill, just like he took it to the house on that return against La Tech, and right there from the jump last game. He's another one cut, run downhill type of guy too, and I think he's going to have a good game as well.
So your fact checkers over here, I think, checked you. Caleb, what you got?
But I've got 9. I've got he's played in 9 games: Pine Bluff, Oklahoma State, UAPB, Auburn, A&M, Tennessee, LSU, Mississippi State, Ole Miss.
And the definition of playing in the game, he can just get one play. Doesn't matter if he gets a carry or not.
Right.
I mean, if he just stands out there and does a pass block, then that's play. So, I thought I've seen him out there more than 3 games, but
I'm showing 8 under his game log right here.
Yeah,
either one of those is higher.
The Oklahoma State, he played, but he did not have a rushing attempt at all. So he had a reception. He had 8.3 yards reception on that game. Or no, I don't know. Anyway, he's played 9. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to see more of him. I really enjoyed watching him this season, but I mean, yeah, it's hard to compete with JJ and Dominion. I mean, when Dominion's got ball security going, he's a good back.
I do wish we'd seen more Dominion all season, but I'm a big Dominion fan. I just like how he is, how he carries himself, and he stuck around when he probably had an opportunity to go somewhere like August Dave did, and he said, "I'm going to stick it out." And man, I don't know. I think he could be primed for not only a monster game this weekend, but he could be a true. I mean, I think him and Braylon Russell make a nice 1-2 going into next season, personally. So, there's that.
Since Drew's new on the cast, we got to get his opinions on the future.
I was getting there.
Okay, well,
go ahead.
I'm trying to be a co-host, I guess. Sorry. Anyway, your opinion on like the future of the Hogs, future of Sam Pittman. What do you think? Say we go to Missouri and get our butts handed to us by 3+ touchdowns. We lose our bowl game. Just give us your thoughts on all that.
I think if you go 0-2, change is inevitable, because right now we are kind of at the, I wouldn't say the floor of like bottom expectations, and fans have been really dumb about that on Twitter, about like, oh, we're celebrating mediocrity. No, players are celebrating making a bowl game. That's a goal for any football team in any season. If we didn't make a bowl game, then yeah, obviously it's kind of a no-brainer. I'm a little bit torn on the whole Pittman here, Pittman gone type deal. To me, Pittman is on a lesser level to what Houston Nutt was. I know this sounds like I'm insulting Houston Nutt, but I'm not. He's my favorite. Houston Nutt was at his best whenever he had high-level coordinators that he let do jobs without micromanaging. And the first time he began to micromanage with an elite coordinator, Gus Malzahn, that's when everything went downhill.
Yep.
You could say the same about Ed Orgeron when he was at LSU.
He was forced to hire Malzahn, though, from what I've gathered.
Yeah, Mustang.
So I mean, there was some animosity there, from the start. So
definitely so. It was an ugly situation.
It's understandable.
We need a 30 for 30. I want to know the whole story.
Yeah.
I got to know. It's like Ed
it's
Orgeron,
all rumors.
He was at LSU. Everybody thought he was this amazing coach, but he had talent. You don't even have to leave the Baton Rouge area, and you could recruit a great team for LSU. Mm-hmm. And he had high-level offensive and defensive coordinators, and they kind of got the big head, or he got the big head, and they went on, and then bam, he's downhill.
So let's go back.
Yeah,
let's get on track of Pittman. So you said if we lose this game and the bowl game, then he should be gone. I agree. So say we lose this game and win our bowl game, whichever bowl game that is.
So I think that has us at 7 wins, correct?
Seven counting the bowl game, which in my opinion, bowl games don't mean.
So you're saying 7 and 6 overall.
Overall,
yeah.
Okay. I mean, to me, you take a look at that. How many other schools are hiring coaches? Not a crazy amount right now. So you'd be able to kind of be a big fish in a smaller pond, even though I wouldn't say the Arkansas is a big fish job. It's not a small fish job either.
It's an average, probably. It's a tougher job. It takes a coach willing to possibly have failure, because it's very possible here at Arkansas.
It is that. So you take a look at how's the recruiting looking. Recruiting's looking solid from this year combined, how next year's looking. Didn't they just get a commitment from the number 1 kicker in the nation yesterday?
Yeah.
That's big. Kickers, yeah. We have some high-level young defensive players on roster this year and coming in next year. That's a big deal. The transfer portal giveth and taketh. Mm-hmm. We understand that. And I think Pittman's overall tenure has been – it's kind of hard to gauge it overall, because you have the COVID year. You have the introduction of the transfer portal. You have whatever that was with Dan Enos. You got a lot of bad stuff going on. But if you take and you say, okay, we upset Missouri. It's an upset. We're not going to say it's a win. It's an upset. We upset Missouri, win a bowl game. Or we split 1-1 and end with 7 wins.
What's the line on the game?
3.
Mizzou -3. Total over-under is 53.5.
It's a very tight line. Didn't it start at 3.5? So
I think it started at 3.5. Arkansas had some people lay down some bets. So
okay, I'm not always good on how betting and everything works, so I'm glad you cleared that up there. I don't know. I think if the staff retains and recruiting's looking good, and you go even 1-1 in these next 2 games, I don't know. What advantage do you have?
Now, the 1-1 in the next 2 games is very important. Which one that is?
Yes.
To me, it is. If you lose the Missouri game and beat some average or below average team in a bowl game, that doesn't matter. That probably at least 3, 4, 5, 6 starters on both sides is going to be absent from the game. Do you really? How can you put that much weight on that game to save somebody's job? I don't think you can.
I'd put more weight on the Missouri game for sure.
For sure.
So I think this Saturday is going to do far more for the future of the Razorback program overall. I know that sounds really dramatic, but for the future of the Razorback program, it's far more important what happens at Columbia, Missouri this Saturday compared to whatever bowl game we go to, be it Liberty Bowl or Birmingham.
100% agree.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, and it's hard to argue. If we split and win Missouri, lose the bowl game, no matter what happens, even if we went 2-0, there's still going to be people calling for his head, no matter what. And I think it's tough.
It'll quieten down the noise
split,
a lot.
Sure, but if you split or win out, it'd be very hard to break up the system.
Yeah,
because I think you retain Dominion. You obviously you're going to retain Braylon Russell. Well, I say obviously. I would think you would retain Russell.
It's pretty solid shot.
I think you get Taylor Green again. I think he's coming back. I mean,
do we want him back?
Bobby Petrino.
I know everyone's excited for him to come back for another year under Bobby Petrino, but
let him.
I've not seen enough progression to want him back.
But then
from the beginning of the year to now, how much progression have y'all seen?
You might have Malachi a good quarterback duel.
Yes, and you want that if you're a guy. So if we look up and we hear reports in the spring, let's say it's the same team, same coaches, same roster overall, and we hear reports that Malachi's really pushing for a job. That's good for me. But what some people are going to say is, oh, Taylor wasn't good all along, because we're full of naysayers online. Taylor is good, and I want to go back and I want to see in Petrino's first year, we struggled offensively a lot. Second year, everybody kind of gets it at that point, because the Petrino offense can be complicated, but it's very set when it's done. And I know something DJ Williams talked about, where there's lots of little adjustments. The players aren't used to maybe working with the level of coach that Petrino is. And then maybe year 2 in his system, it's starting to click with the players. Leadership develops from that, yada, yada, yada. That's a big deal. But if, Malachi, say if we have a quarterback duel in the offseason and we get Taylor Green back, I would love to see Taylor Green in a second year, personally.
Yeah.
But I also would not mind seeing a quarterback emerge and push him, because that's going to do one of two things. Either a quarterback who really wants it, who has improved, gets to be QB1, or it pushes Taylor Green to another level.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
If I was Malachi Singleton and I am making a push, and it is pretty close, like we think it is, as far as the QB1 goes, if he's right there, I don't know that I would stay and be, willing to be the QB2 when I have proven myself in practice and think I'm as good or better than QB1.
Yeah.
And from what I've seen, he's pretty close, if not better. He's right there. And a lot of people are calling, like Josh. He's definitely called for him all season, one Singleton out there. And I'm seeing it more and more. Every time I see Green make an overthrow or a mistimed pass, and I clearly see it's his fault. Now, a lot of it's not. It's on the O-line. They can't block worth a dang. But I don't know. I don't know if he would stay if he's QB2.
You definitely would not want to lose a guy like that.
Yeah.
You got some other guys coming in. You have some guys behind them. But Singleton, we know how good he is. And at the end of the day, I'm going to have to trust the coaches on this one. They see him every day in practice.
Right.
And I think if Singleton's lacking anywhere, and this is not an insult to Singleton one bit, it could be an understanding of the offense and the progressions. It could just be here. And what it's going to take is more reps for him, more film study for him, an off-season watching film with Petrino and stuff like that might just really go a long way for a guy like that.
I think so. For sure. I just don't. like I said, you went out or split them. You don't break up the system. Now, I've said all along, no matter what happens, and I'm still leaning toward this, that no matter what happens, Pittman might retire for health reasons. Hand it to someone. I don't know. I could be totally out in left field on this, but I was talking about this with guys at work today. I think that's still a possibility. I've got
a left field answer that goes right along with that. I was talking about, Pittman being similar to Houston at Orgeron, where if he has high-level assistants that he lets do his job, everything's going to run. He's just managing everything. And you've seen that better this year. Last year and even before, it seemed like we had a lot of management decisions from the head coach, clock manage it, dumb things like that just really, really baffled everybody. I think some of that's got cleaned up. I could be wrong. There could be statistics I might not have been paying attention a lot. But let's say that Pittman decides to retire from being the head coach, but we possibly promote from in-house. I know a lot of people love Travis Williams. I know the team loves Travis Williams. I think every fan does, honestly.
Yeah.
We have one game where maybe we were mad at Travis Williams' defense, but at the end of the day, it's the kids on the field that got to do it. And I'm going to go ahead and err on the side of caution that Travis Williams probably had a great game plan. And, we're thin in the secondary, and we've gotten better here and there, yada, yada. So let's say Pittman retires from being the head coach. Dude is still a solid recruiter. And I think a lot of those players would run through a brick wall for him personally.
Yeah.
A great motivator.
Yeah.
Just like Houston Nutt.
Yeah.
Dude was an insane motivator, could recruit pretty well. I don't know. What if Pittman says, I don't want to be the head coach, but I can coach here, help here. I move into a recruiting role, player development. Well, probably not player development. And
just a liaison.
A liaison of sorts. And then maybe the team still retains the coaches. I still need Bobby Petrino and Travis Williams to be the offensive and defensive coordinators next year.
Yeah.
Because if a new head coach comes in, very slim chance that both of those men retain their positions.
Right. That's right. I mean, head coaches are going to bring their own guys in, and that's very true. So, Camo, you got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I want to hit on a couple of things. I'll get off here after this, but talking about Bobby Petrino, the offense, I think there's a little bit of this may just be my opinion, but watching the season play out and watching these games, I think there's been a little bit of ego involved. I know Taylor's the guy that he went and got before the season. It's kind of his guy, and when you hand pick and cherry pick a guy, and then you've got a guy like Singleton that just come on as a recruit to come play, at Arkansas. I think, for one, he's abandoned the run, and he's kind of had the attitude is I'm gonna lose. If we're not gonna do well, at least we're gonna, I'm gonna go out doing it my way. I'm gonna go out calling the plays I want to play, and riding on Taylor when he clearly has had a quarterback that's been inaccurate. He holds the ball too long. He doesn't make a quick read. There's been obviously some negative things that Taylor's done. He's done a lot of good things too, not completely knocking them. But, I think there's been a little bit of ego involved on those two aspects with Bobby riding with his guy, which is Taylor, and then also abandoning the run and not really, calling plays like I thought he should. Would it made a difference in some of the losses? Maybe the A&M loss. Maybe you can kind of point to that one as number one on some of the play calls and riding with Taylor. He sure got hit a lot, sacked a lot. I would like to see a lot more runs there in attempts, and probably the Oklahoma State game. You point to those two right there as being ones that we let go. And then going back to the Braylon Russell, I looked this up, so I wasn't shooting from the hip. He has the most attempts he's had is 16 carries. Then there's 9, and then there's 7, and I think there's one that's 6. And then he's got 4 games with 4 carries or less. And to me, if that's the case, which, I mean, it's ESPN stats, who could not have gotten those attempts and still retain him as a red shirt? To me, it's a wasted year for Braylon if that's the case, by playing 4-5 games out of the 9 he's played with 4 carries or less. to me, you could find those 4 carries anywhere between Rodney Hill, DeBinion, JJ, and still keep him the extra year. So I think that may have been a mismanagement part, if that is the case.
Yeah, it's all
Russell's.
speculation because, I mean, the coaching staff could have talked to him and asked him if he was okay with not redshirting or what. So we don't really know.
Yeah, that could have happened.
And he could have said, I don't care about it because I want to, he's big enough, I think, to go to the NFL pretty soon if he has the carries and is good enough. He ain't getting no bigger, right? He can get faster, and better, mentally. But yeah, we don't know exactly what happened. So.
Yeah. Well, Camo, before we let you go, before you hop off, give us your score prediction and the outcome of the game for Saturday.
And also Arkansas, Illinois.
Yeah. And then we got Arkansas, Illinois tomorrow, the battle of the Big Z twins tomorrow.
Are they twins?
Yeah, they're twin brothers.
I thought they looked pretty much alike.
Yeah.
How tall is the other twin? 7'2"?
7'1"-ish.
They said he's more of a true center. He's a bigger dude compared to our Big Z.
Well, I'm not going to serve you up anything you're probably not expecting on these predictions, but I'm going to let Grady. We're going to let Grady predict the Arkansas Illinois game, basketball game. The football game for me, I'm gonna go 38-31 Hogs with a late touchdown at the end to seal it up.
Okay, I like it. G, what do you think about the basketball game tomorrow? And then give us your thoughts on the Green Bay Dolphins game.
Okay, like the Illinois and Arkansas game, I'd probably say I think we're gonna deal with Illinois pretty well. I think we beat them by like 14 or 15.
Woo! Hey, I'll take that.
I think we're gonna handle them pretty well. And then the Green Bay Dolphins game, I say we beat them by 10.
Okay, I think you're probably more right on that game, in my opinion, than the basketball game. Although I would love to be right on the basketball game, but I think the weather will play to Green Bay's advantage for sure tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, y'all have fun. Drive safe. Take pictures. Send them to us. And
be safe. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. Love y'all.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, guys. Go Hogs.
Go Hogs.
Go Hogs.
All right. Well, something that we're going to do a little bit different this week. We don't have the Whoopie Kiwis drummed up. It's Josh's week to do them. Obviously, he's on the road. Totally fine. I want to run through the SEC. It's rivalry week, obviously. I'm going to save my thoughts about the Arkansas-Missouri game to the very last. But let's run through them and just give me I'm going to name off the names of the teams. Give me your W's on this one. So, obviously, Mississippi State, Ole Miss. It's in Oxford. Who you got, Buck?
Ole Miss. I mean, that's
it's pretty easy one there.
If you pick Mississippi State, then I don't know.
The Egg Bowl.
I hate Ole Miss, and I love to pick upsets. I like the underdog, but unfortunately, the cowbells will be
quiet,
very quiet. I might bet that because Ole Miss is it's 26. I mean, here's the thing: Ole Miss cannot get into the playoffs. There's no reason to run up the score outside of you just hate Mississippi State. Lane Kiffin could care less about the rivalry. That dude does not want to be at Ole Miss. That's not where he's going to retire from.
Nope.
I don't know. I mean, I might take Mississippi State to cover that at 26, minus 26.
If they get their offense rolling late like they did against us, where they started playing loose and that quarterback got comfortable, and they had a couple good runs here and there, I think they could absolutely make a push late, not to win the game, but as far as bettors are concerned, I would take State to cover at least.
I would cover that. Okay, so we all got Ole Miss that one. All right, Georgia Tech in Athens. Georgia's a 19-point favorite.
Another
Georgia Tech's
tough one.
Georgia Tech, they're 7-4. They're not no slouch now.
Sneaky.
They're sneaky. It could be a what do you call them? A gotcha game or a
trap game.
Trap game. There you go, Buck. It could be a trap game for Georgia.
Yeah.
I
think they're focused. I think it's the end of the year. They're focused. They know what they got to do.
You know what they always say: games in November are games to remember, baby.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I would definitely
Just not
pick
this
Tech.
one.
I'd pick Tech to at least give them a good scare for half the game up to 3/4.
I'll probably bet that to cover too.
Yeah, Tech, I don't know.
Wow.
Offensively, they can move it on people. Their game against Miami, that was a classic game. Defensively, they got a couple dudes, but they don't have enough dudes. So it would be up to their offense really causing some problems for Georgia.
Well,
and Georgia's defense has been less than stellar.
What the problem is,
they haven't scared me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to surprise anybody by saying this, but the problem is for Georgia Tech, they can't handle Georgia up front. I mean, that's going to be the downfall. And I don't even think you said 2 or 3 quarters. I think it's going to show in the first quarter. I mean,
so.
Georgia is that much bigger and more dominant than they are up front. And they might have some athletes on the back end, but that won't matter.
Yeah.
When you're running it right up their throat,
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be dominant.
Now
I wouldn't bet the over or under on either one of those
I'm
games.
not betting over under. I'm saying to cover Georgia Tech to cover 19.
I wouldn't bet to cover either one of those games you just mentioned.
All right. Tennessee, Vandy at Vanderbilt. Tennessee's a 10.5-point favorite. This is my trap game of the week right here.
With you on that one.
I agree with
this
that.
right here because Vandy is playing. Now, I mean, they're trying to get in a better bowl game. Tennessee's trying to get into the playoffs. It's at Vandy, not a tough place to play. Although you've already had one upset there this year, I could see another one happening. I'm
Just because of that one other upset, Tennessee's going to be ready. They're probably going to come in there and dominate them. But
I think they'll be ready. But I'm going Vanderbilt on this one. I didn't give my prediction
win
on
or to
Georgia
cover?
Tech. Georgia beats Georgia Tech. No, I'm picking straight up Vandy to win.
wow.
It's my trap game of the week. I've been saying it for
Vandy
a
wins
week
it
and a
late.
half.
Give me the Commodores in this one.
Wow.
Anchor down, baby.
Anchor down.
All right.
Which I learned a little bit about Vanderbilt. I thought the Commodore was always a dumb mascot. That's an actual person. I didn't know that. His name was Commodore. It's one of the Biltmore stuff with the big mansion and everything. My wife was telling me about it. And the reason they do the whole anchor down deal is because the Commodore dude owned a shipping company. So like Anchor. So I didn't know there was actually historical significance. I just thought it was a weird mascot because I'm very hateful on other people's mascots. So they got some cooler history there. So yeah, give me Vandy.
Yeah. All right. South Carolina.
This is the game of the week.
South Carolina,
opinion.
Clemson. At Clemson. Clemson's 3-point favorite.
South Carolina's hot.
Man,
They're
South
hot.
Carolina's hot.
And
You've got Rocket
both of these
Sanders
teams
over
have
there.
a very
It's a top
good
25
chance
matchup. It's a
of,
top 15 matchup.
making the playoffs. South Carolina, they win out.
If South Carolina wins out, that puts them at 9-3, and I just don't think
They're saying
I
they're
don't
the
know.
fourth team
I don't
will
know.
have 3 losses from the
Could-
SEC.
You could be, but then you also have Clemson at 9-3.
You also have A&M.
So I mean, A&M could lose this week.
I know, but
I
I
think
mean,
A&M does lose this week.
A&M, if they win this week, they'll be in the SEC championship game, which the winner of that obviously gets an automatic bid.
Yeah.
So if they win that, both those games somehow, they'll be in. That would put Georgia in, Texas in, and who else?
They would. I mean, yeah, I don't know. South Carolina, whooped-
Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee if they win. This one's a toss-up for me. I don't really know how to vote which way. You would think Death Valley, the ACC Death Valley is a tough place to play. I would think. I don't know. I kind of like South Carolina. I like their business model, if you will, a little bit better than Clemson's with the non-adaptation of the NIL and the transfer portal. I think that catches up with them Saturday, and I think South Carolina wins it in a very, very tight one. I think that'll
What's
be
the
a
spread
good
on that
game.
one?
3.
I think
Yeah,
it's going to be a close
tight.
one.
It's going to be very tight for
Yeah,
sure.
over under's 49.5. Yeah, I think South Carolina straight up wins. So
And this is at Clemson.
it's at Clemson. Yeah.
Just because of that, I think Clemson will pull it off.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure how South Carolina is as a road dog. I'm going to roll with Clemson in this one. I like their quarterback. Dabo's cheesy, but I got a soft spot for him. Don't really know why. And I did my road to glory at Clemson as a wide receiver. So I got a soft spot for him.
There you go.
I did mine at Florida State.
This is like my fourth one.
You
so-
played video games?
This was like 10 years ago.
Oh, okay.
But
So you got Clemson.
Yeah, I'll take Clemson.
All right.
Yeah.
So Louisville, Kentucky, at Kentucky.
Kentucky in this one.
Louisville's -4. I'm going to take Louisville on this one.
I'm gonna go with the Cardinal too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the red
I think
and
Kentucky's
black.
defense will handle that.
Okay.
So they are playing a new quarterback.
I think we've
their
disagreed on
offensive
every game up here but one.
Maybe so.
Maybe so.
I think we all had Ole Miss together.
Well,
Yeah.
no, the first two were
Yeah, we had Ole
blowouts.
Miss, yeah.
But
All right. So, all right. Next up is Auburn, Alabama, at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Alabama's 11.5-point
I
favorite.
think Auburn's riding hot on this one, and Alabama doesn't care about their season anymore, the fans or the players, because they're championship or bust program. And that's obvious. And the fans are pissed that they're not making the playoffs. I think the players, the coaches will try to
But
fire
if they
them up.
win,
But
they're 9-3. They could get in.
I don't think they're.
I mean, it's another.
From what I've been
SEC
watching,
I'll
I
be so
think
pissed off if they
they're
make it
one
in.
of the
It's-
they're one of the teams that the only team that has 3 losses that pretty much can't get in.
Yeah.
That's what I've been kind of gathering, but could be wrong. It would take a miracle from what I've gathered from them to get in. But I think Auburn might pull this one out because they have more to play for. They've been playing pretty well. They've won that game against A&M, that overtime thriller last week. So I'm riding with Auburn.
I'm a little split on this one, honestly, because I don't like either team. And depending on the year is depending on who I like even less. But I have a special spot of being a hater for Jalen Milroe right now. And
I gathered that earlier.
yeah, I'm not really a big
When I
Milroe
called him
guy.
athletic, you're like, he can't throw.
He's got a good arm. I'm just a hater. But when dude walked it off against a not good Auburn team last year, give me the
That's
MF
crazy.
and Heisman. I was like, dude, you made one play
Yeah.
all year, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to say that I'm going to pick Auburn in this one, but I do think
It's at Bama, right?
Yeah,
They
it's
are
at,
hot
it's
right
at
now.
Bryant-Denny. Yeah.
I think they're going to keep it interesting. But do they have the dogs to keep up with their defense? That's what I don't think they have. Offensively, it depends on who shows up. Their offense has gotten better as the year goes on. So yeah.
It's crazy you said that. They don't have the dogs. You think so, therefore you think Vanderbilt has the dogs to keep up with Tennessee?
Yeah. Their quarterback is the dog.
Yeah.
Their quarterback's the dog.
Yeah.
And they're sneaky
What?
on defense.
Yeah. I don't know.
What year is this for Hugh Freeze at Auburn? Is this 2?
I thought it was 3.
Is this 3rd year, maybe 2 or
Yeah.
3? Second or third. I mean, I'm going with Bama as much as that kills me to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to go Bama. It's at Bama. They're playing potentially for a spot. I just don't think Auburn.
What are they ranked?
Can get it. They're 13.
And I don't know how they're ranked 13. I think I saw a post that Bama is eliminated from playoff contention, but I don't know how.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen
it's
that.
a committee
13.
vote.
Yeah.
It's a committee vote at the end of the
I think
season,
it's their loss that they have against Vanderbilt.
good. Yeah.
I think that has a lot to do with it.
And Oklahoma.
And
I mean,
Oklahoma.
Yeah. All right.
So they can't make they're completely out of the SEC championship. So
Mhm.
they can't get the automatic bid.
Yeah.
And I think that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
All right, so moving on, Florida State. It's in where's that? Tallahassee? Is that where Florida State's located?
Yep.
In Tallahassee. So it's at Florida State. Florida is a 16.5-point favorite. Florida's hot. Florida.
hot.
They announced that Napier's coming back, and they were like, "All right, let's get behind them. Let's rock and roll like a team should do."
Yeah.
And they've won some games. I mean, they beat LSU. They beat Ole Miss. They're coming off 2 really, great
they
wins.
played Georgia pretty tight.
Played Georgia tight.
Good.
So I watched that game.
Lagaway is an outstanding young quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
And I think his emergence and them turning him loose in the offense, which all it took was an injury.
Exactly. Mertz.
To Mertz. And Mertz was he was a suitable quarterback for them, but I mean, it was clear that Lagaway was the future for them.
Yeah.
And his emergence and him getting more comfortable each week and watching his progression has been nice to see. And they've got it's Florida. You don't even have to leave the state to recruit a good class for yourself.
Yeah.
It's another one of those situations. So I think not only do they beat Florida State, but I think they cover it.
cover 16.5. Yeah, I'm going to go Florida. Florida has always been, I've got some family their family went to Florida. So I've always kind of liked the Gators as like a far distant second favorite SEC team, especially when it was East-West.
Mhm.
I'd always say Florida's my favorite SEC East team. I'm going to go Florida. Yeah, I mean, probably to cover. Florida State, they lost the team the third game into the season.
Yeah.
Mike, is it Mike Norvell?
Norvell.
Yeah. Great coach. I think they were little babies last year, and I think that bled into this season. I mean, I think they let what happened last year bleed into this season, and they just, probably one of the most surprising teams this year of how bad they are for this season. So I'm going Florida. Next,
Yeah, I'm going Florida too.
This is not a rivalry, in my opinion, but LSU Oklahoma. Obviously, it used to be LSU A&M, but now that Texas is in the SEC, they got to go Texas A&M.
I think we should play LSU or Texas as our last game.
Well, we used to play LSU as our last game, and then when A&M moved into the SEC, they wanted that time slot, and then they created. And I'm not going to talk about it right now, but they created this made-up battle line.
Yeah, I know.
Right, we'll get into that here in a second.
And I don't even hate Missouri. I mean, we've sucked against them, but
the only thing I hate about
I want to hate them, but I can't.
But I hate us more for losing. But we're not on there. We're not on there yet. Hang on. All right. So Oklahoma, LSU. LSU's a 6-point favorite. It's at LSU. LSU covers that all day and all night in Death Valley. It's a night game in Death Valley. They're calling for a lot of fans I've seen on Twitter are calling for Brian Kelly's head already. I don't care. This is a lock. This is my lock of the week. Lock it in. LSU to beat the dog breaks out of Oklahoma. Well over 6.
I can see
cover. And I'm going LSU as much as that pains
But Oklahoma
me.
could be riding on the high. They could be having a lot of confidence.
They got lucky.
24-3 is lucky. 24-3.
They just were way more prepared than Alabama.
Come on now, that's not luck. That's
Give me Boomer sooner.
If Arkansas won 24-3, and I came in here and said we got lucky, you would have my head on a chopping block.
Well, yeah.
So
you're probably right, but
Oklahoma outplayed them in every facet of the game, and they could very well do it again against LSU.
What's Oklahoma's SEC record? 1-6, 1-5.
They might have found
2-5. Oh. Well, anyway,
what's their overall?
They're overall 6-5. So they've done well.
5 non-conference games.
Yeah, they've done well in their non-conference, but they've lost all but 1, maybe 2 SEC games.
I'm going to tell you what a former coach that I'm a big, I believe it was Lou Holtz, said that, luck is when hard work meets opportunity. So I don't think luck has much to do in sports. I think Oklahoma had an opportunity and they'd worked hard and got it good. So no, I'm agreeing over here. If Arkansas won like that, we said they got lucky.
They would have my head on the chopping block. They would never have that. So
all right, so you're going Boomer. I'm LSU.
Yeah. I'm LSU in a close one.
Close one. Okay. All right. Texas A&M, the game of the week. Man,
this was close to my other game of the week, South Carolina Clemson.
Yeah, it's at A&M. Texas is still a 5-point favorite.
This game has the most to do with the playoffs regarding the SEC teams. If A&M wins this game, that's going to put a huge shakeup on
Texas. Texas still gets in. In my opinion, if Texas loses this game, they're in no matter what.
They're going to be probably 11 or 12 right there, later 10, 11, 12, somewhere there.
I'm thinking they'll be
It definitely puts Alabama out. Alabama's not going to get in if A&M wins. It's going to shake up everything. So this one and the South Carolina Clemson game, those are the two most important for the playoff committee chances, So I'm excited for this one. I think Texas will come in prepared. I think A&M will come in prepared. But I think Texas just has more dogs, and they're going to get it done in a close one in the end.
Who's starting a quarterback for Texas this week? Is it going to be Manning?
Doesn't matter. Both of them are spectacular.
I know yours was having I think he was having an MRI for something.
I mean, I think it's going to be yours, unless otherwise. I mean, I don't see.
The only way A&M's winning this game is if they win the turnover battles, and they could, but that's the only chance I see them having.
And they got to start fast. You can't let Texas hang around. you got to get the crowd into
Get a
it
pick
because
six,
they
get
have
a fumble,
serious,
get something.
They have a very, and I hate Texas A&M. My wife's an A&M fan. She grew up like around there and stuff
I hate
like
both
that.
these teams.
I hate them both too.
I hate
it's
Texas
really
the
hard here.
most hated, obviously, out of anyone. But
I think Texas is my most hated as well.
for
Especially
sure.
LSU's up there.
Because Snugs knows how I feel. He knows how I feel about the SEC. I like Arkansas, and I hate everybody else. On any given year, depends on who I hate the most.
Yeah, like even like in the probably I remember in our group text, it's probably been a year or two or more ago, but I remember you stating that you will always root for who's ever playing the SEC team, like in the national championship, like
against
Alabama.
them.
Yeah,
Why would you root against
them?
The SEC? Because if the SEC wins, it creates, even if it's not true, it creates this perception that the SEC is dominant. Yeah, and that makes all the great players want to come to the SEC, which improves Arkansas's chances of possibly if they were choosing between
I think that hurts us.
It hurts us 100%, and that's why.
Depends who we're recruiting against. If we're recruiting against, say, a Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, some team like that that's not, a great Ohio State team or something, and we're recruiting against them, they're like, if I want to make the NFL, my better chances is going to the SEC to prove that I can compete against this talent, instead of playing these cupcake games, for a Wisconsin, Florida State, all these other teams that might be good, but they're not SEC.
No, I
just don't think we recruit the same players that Wisconsin recruits.
Wisconsin recruits.
I'm just spitting out teams. Yeah. There's other teams out there.
I hear what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah. All right, so you have Texas in a close one.
Yeah. Unfortunately, logic prevails, and Texas is the pick. I'm not going to say they're a lock, but it would take a lot of things for an A&M to get it done. Now, it's going to be it's a night game.
It's a night game. It's the game of the week.
Texas
ABC
hasn't played there against A&M since, 2011-ish or so?
Something like that.
And A&M's field has grown in capacity since then.
100,000 plus. It's going to be a madhouse.
It's going to be a madhouse, but Texas is used to playing in a madhouse. I don't know. A lot of things have to go A&M's way. I just think if it's a normal game Texas has, when if crazy stuff happens, I mean, it's a rivalry.
Turnovers.
Anything. Turnovers. That's the biggest deal. Yeah. Absolutely turnovers.
Okay, so you're going Texas.
Unfortunately.
Okay, I'm going to go against you. I'm going A&M. Again, much as it pains me, I think did y'all listen to Morning Mayhem this morning? Justin Moore was like, I hope both teams score 0 and somehow it ends in a tie. Yeah. I'm kind of the same way. I really hate both teams. Obviously, I hate Texas more than Texas A&M.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go A&M for the simple fact they're playing for a chance potentially. I mean, I don't think so, but I think they could try to ruin Texas's chance, even though Texas wins or gets in no matter what.
I think you said that
I think for bragging rights, I think A&M's going to play tough. I think it's a close game. It's at Kyle Field, home of the 12th man. Give me A&M.
Solid.
In a obviously very close one. I mean, it might be a walk.
I think he also said that when Ole Miss played LSU at LSU,
probably
because he hates both. He really hates LSU.
Yeah, Oh, well, his wife is from Louisiana, so
that's why.
Yeah. So give me A&M over Texas. All right, let's go to the matchup for Arkansas, the made-up battle line rivalry. We play for this trophy that is Arkansas, Missouri, obviously.
It's not even a cool rivalry name.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, it's made up. I don't know what else to call it. I don't hate Missouri.
I figure they could have done something like with the Ozark Mountains because it kind of connects the two states, or come up with something different than the battle line. Right?
Battle of the Plateau or something.
Battle of the Boot is the greatest name to a rivalry, I think. Battle of the Boot. I mean, that's
the gold. Yeah,
I think the Floyd of Rosedale. It's a pig trophy. It's like two Big Ten teams. It's called the Floyd of Rosedale. It's a trophy that's a pig. And then Wisconsin is someone else. They play for like the Paul Bunyan Trophy.
Yeah,
they've got all the cool matchups. I mean, you got the Commander-in-Chief Trophy, Army-Navy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many great rivalries out there that some people just
the game they call
it. The game.
It's honestly surprised me. Arkansas, Texas. I mean, as old as that is, we don't have something there.
The SEC really missed out, which Greg Sankey can suck it officially on record. He definitely missed out with that.
Well, we talked about Arkansas, Missouri earlier in the episode. I gave pretty much all my thoughts. We're going to have to win the turnover battle. We're going to have to show up on defense. We're going to have to run the football. If all those things go our way, then we'll win. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to go down there and not only lose, but we're probably going to get embarrassed. And I hope that I'm wrong, but I think we might get embarrassed in this one, and we might lose by my predictions 34-13.
Ugh, well, I don't like that. I don't like that take at all. Josh is calling you. Is he trying to get on? Call him.
Probably.
Call him back. See what he wants. Go ahead. Drag on. Hogzilla. At Hogzilla.
It's Hogzilla on X or something like that. I needed a burner. I was like, my regular timeline, it's got so much other stuff on there I'm interested in. I was like, if I really want to get down talking smack with like other fan bases, I don't want to picture my face and like my name in there. So the burner account, it came into play there.
All right, we got
Josh.
Oh wait,
reach myself.
All right.
He called
So
me
I think Bug hit it pretty well there. A lot of things are going to have to go really well for us because we are the underdog. It might not be by a lot, but we are the underdog, clearly. And so a lot of things are going to have to go well for us. I think we're going to have to play – we're going to have to have stuff that hits quick. We're going to have to be able to attack space, seams. We're going to have to run the ball well. And I think we're going to have to keep their offense on the sideline, kind of, stiffened up and stymied over there. And, sitting there in the cold, wishing they can come out there and get loose and stuff like that. I feel like we have a good chance, but things could also go horribly wrong out of nowhere. For some reason, historically, we struggle with Missouri. There's only been like 1 or 2 years where we've competed or just blown their doors off, and I don't know what the problem is. And that's going back to McFadden's last year when was that McFadden's last year or one of the years we played them in a bowl game?
Yeah, I was at the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah.
Hillis, Felix Jones, and McFadden, they didn't play. Houston Nutt was not even the coach. Reggie Herring was the interim.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, yeah.
Yeah, and, there's
it was fun because I got to go, but
it's kind of like, Missouri fans still talk about beating Ohio State last year like it wasn't their practice squad.
Dude, I don't work with a guy. Sorry to interrupt, but one of our vendors, he was the punter for Missouri during that time frame. And every time, and of course he talks about Drew Lock, every time he comes to the office or he takes us out or whatever, I have to hear about that Cotton Bowl game that I was like, dude, you're a punter for one. Shut up.
It's a punter.
Okay. Secondly, our best players didn't play. We didn't have a head coach. We were moving on. Shut up.
Yeah, the two of their huge bowl wins were against nobody.
And Jake, if you hear that, I like you
from
in a
State
way,
Farm?
but screw you.
Jake from State Farm?
No, not Jake.
I don't even like Jake from State Farm anymore, dude. I don't like him. He's hanging out with Mahomes. I don't like him anymore.
I mean,
what are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Choke. All right, so you got who's your pick? I'm sorry if you said it.
So I don't really have a great score prediction. I'm not as good with score predictions. I think if Arkansas wins, it'd be
shoot a number out there,
close-ish.
Yeah,
but it also could be a bit of a barn burner. You could see something along the lines of 42-30 something or something like that. Arkansas getting a win. I think if Missouri beats us, it's either on some bull crap last minute or we just lose.
Mm-hmm.
Like just straight out, like
I said,
touchdown game. Maybe not 30-something to 13, or 14, whatever he said. But
it's a 21 point game.
It can really go either way for me.
Yeah,
21 point game is what?
Yeah,
34-13.
I don't know about 21 points. We'd have to play just.
I think
as
turnovers
against Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Our true side's going to show, and it's shown all year. We lose the football more than.
So do you think Arkansas pulls it out, or?
I think they can, and I'm going to go ahead and roll with them. I'm going to be a homer here. I mean, it's the Tusketeers podcast, not the college football broadcast.
That's right.
But it sounds like you're not confident enough to bet on the game.
No, I don't bet anyway. So
well, if you were
not. No.
Okay.
So here's my take.
I don't bet either.
Here's my take. All right, we're a 3-point dog. The over/under is 53.5. The game's at game time is going to be 32 degrees. It's potentially going to snow.
That's going to be awesome.
I'm going to bet the under. If I was to bet, of course, I don't bet on the Hogs, except last year, this game. I bet totally against the Hogs, won over $200-something because I bet totally against with Missouri. KJ had to throw under like 200 yards. He got hurt in the first quarter, won that. It was a 3 or 4 leg parlay, hit it. That's the only time, well, not the only time I bet on Hogs, but I don't do it. If I was going to, I'm going to bet the under on this just because of the weather. I don't see it being a
That's another
shootout.
reason.
I don't see it being a shootout. I don't know which team has the advantage during the cold weather because both are used to playing in the cold weather.
I do. The team with the better turnover ratio and the team that can run the ball better. And they do both.
Yeah. So, and I think we're going to see a lot of running, in my opinion.
For sure.
I think we'll see a lot of RPO. I think we'll kind of get back to the run game. Ball security obviously is going to be a huge factor in the game.
Something as simple as a snap we haven't been able to.
My score prediction is changing because I was going to go 35-31, which would put it over the over. And I'm going with the Hogs, of course, but I'm going to take that down to like a 24-21 game. You know, it's close to that, to the over under, but I don't think we quite get there to the 53 and a half. So I want to go 21-24 Hogs right there.
I know Missouri's dominated, but what's their average margin of victory? Would y'all even have an idea?
I have no idea,
over
but
the past 8 years or whatever.
No, like over Arkansas?
Yeah, just over us.
Yeah, that would count the
I feel
Chad
like
Morris years, so we can't count.
Yeah,
those.
well, those numbers are skewed. I don't know.
Even the Pittman years. Have we had I know we've had one close game. Have we had more than that? I mean, I feel like we've lost by double digits multiple years.
Just y'all filibuster. I'll
just,
bring it up. I'll bring
off
it up.
the top of my head that I'm thinking. I don't remember that close of games.
So the day of Rat's wedding, when we're watching it up
Yep.
there,
Oh gosh,
that ended in a BS heartbreak. You know, that was crazy. That was one of KJ's big coming out parties right there. That was a crazy game. I know one of the last Bielema years, we just blew their doors off.
I'm talking about just the Pittman
All right,
years.
so here's the Pittman year record. All right, 2020.
We're 0-4, right?
We lost 50-48.
Okay, that's
no.
close.
We beat them in 2021. 2021, we beat them 34-17. So we won and not a close game.
That was our best year. That was
I was at that game.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, last year we lost 2022, 29-27.
Okay, closer games than I
All right,
thought.
2023, 48-14. So
maybe that's
KJ
maybe
was
that's
done.
in the back of my mind.
KJ got hurt.
I remember getting
KJ
our butts
was
whooped.
done. We weren't going to make a bowl game.
We didn't
Team
have an
was
offensive
done.
coordinator. Our pets' heads are falling
Done.
off.
Yeah, exactly. So
there's been some close games.
Been a lot of close games.
Seems like we always lose the
era.
turnover battle though against them. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know.
What happens is they always have some
that.
random dude on defense that's just like one stud, and he has a huge game, and it just wrecks us for some reason.
Yeah,
like 3 sacks, a forced fumble, or something.
Here's the 20. Let's go 2022. It was 29-27. Let's see if I could find real quick the turnover stats quickly. Trying to figure this. You find it? So KJ
sacked a bunch.
Yeah, he got 2 TDs, 7 sacks. Don't see any picks. Don't see any fumbles. Let's see. All right, we go. Points off for turnover. Mizzou got 3, so we at least had 1 turnover. I don't know if that was a pick or a fumble.
3 is not just
no.
It's still 3 points.
Held him to a field goal. So
But they definitely. What's the time of possession? I feel like they've dominated the time of possession too.
2022. I mean, time of possession. I mean, does it really matter?
I'm just saying it seems like they always control the clock and turnover ratio. They always win that too. So I'm just nervous, like everybody is. We always play like dog crap against Missouri, and I don't know why.
Well, hey, as Pittman jokingly said, we've always played them on Friday, so let's try it on a Saturday.
Let's try it on a Saturday. Yeah,
I guess. I mean,
yeah, I like it.
What time's the game?
2:30.
Right when I'm starting working, so I ain't gonna be able to watch it at all.
Y'all got to fix some rides. What y'all got to do?
No, it's gonna be the downtown in Conway, all that stuff.
Oh yeah,
lighting up the Christmas tree, all that stuff. So I'll be down there.
Yeah, plug it in.
I could. I mean, if we're at a certain point when we're starting, I'll be able to at least be like watching, like listening a little bit. But by the time 4:30 rolls
No,
around,
I'm saying
5
give a
o'clock.
plug to what your operation down there in Conway we got going.
Oh yeah, definitely come check out Illuminate in downtown Conway. The Christmas tree lighting. We'll be down there selling funnel cakes and treats, and the big wheel's coming back this year. We've had it sidelined in the shop and getting some lighting upgrades and other
I
stuff
seen
like
it up
that.
there today. Yeah.
It's up and going now. And last year we had a couple of children's rides, and it was popular, but everybody wants that big wheel back. So
Yeah.
that'll be going on.
Well,
That starts
wait,
off Saturday.
I just realized, talking about Miller.
Yeah.
Miller Spectaculars, but
So you're kin to Colt's grandparents? Is that
That's my grandmother too. Me and Colt are cousins.
y'all are cousins?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just now put it all together in my head. I was like, wait, Miller. Okay.
Carnival Mafia right here.
Yeah. We'll hold.
They're the ones with the Christmas lights over here, right? Is that the right grandma?
And then they got the RV park here going on.
And they got all them going towards Wooster. They got that big. Is that the same? All them fair equipment. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, man.
That's
Yeah, man. Now you're
All right.
connecting dots.
All right. We got someone famous up here.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, Drew, hey, appreciate you sitting in with us. It was fun.
Dude, I've had a great time.
I got to give my predictions on the Arkansas.
Oh,
Illinois.
you hadn't?
No, I mean, we heard Grady's, and I don't even think Josh gave his. I got to say that I think our guard play is a lot better than theirs. Our big play is probably roughly the same if Adu was playing, but from what I've gathered, he's not going to be playing, which is going to hurt us a little bit.
Oh, for the
or
Kansas.
a lot.
Okay, I'm sorry.
What?
The Arkansas-Kansas game.
No, the Arkansas. Illinois,
not Kansas.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Wait.
Golly. Okay.
Anyway, our guard play is better.
I'm like,
and I think that'll show
who the
up.
hell breaks down guards play in football?
People used to be a guard.
But yeah, I think our guards are a lot better than theirs. Our big man is roughly the same. I think that'll show up in the end. So I think we'll win a close one. I got us 81-73.
I'm thinking it's going to be a tight game too. Illinois, what they have for us, what they have going on over us is going to be just experience as far as the team. But I'm going to tell you this: Calipari's not going to get out coached.
Yeah, no.
Calipari's not going to get out coached. Illinois, they're a fine program. I hate them because it's Illinois. They can suck.
You hate everybody that's not Arkansas.
No, the entire state of Illinois, I hate.
Oh, okay.
Everything. That's the
and Texas.
Day, though. Now Texas, I'm cool with East Texas.
Okay,
but I'm pick and choose.
I'm trying to find the line on this. I can't find it, but both teams are 5-1.
What are they ranked?
They are ranked 20. They're not ranked. Are they?
I thought we were close on rank.
No, they're not ranked. We're 19. They must have dropped out.
Just out of the rankings.
Yeah.
Who was their one loss?
Who was their one loss? It was Alabama.
Okay.
And they killed them.
Yeah, 100-87.
And they scored a lot, so that's why I think it's going to be.
Yeah.
Our defense is really good. It's
but both teams are coming off a game where we just murdered the other team, and they beat the Trojans of Little Rock 92-34.
And a lot of people are looking at that, saying that we barely beat them, but we also lost interest. We were up by like 20 or so at halftime. Yeah. Right. It doesn't hold in. It's too early.
Completely different.
Yeah.
And we came out in the second half. It was completely different.
We're coming off 109-35 victory, where going in at halftime was the tied for the largest margin of get the margin gap in Razorback
and that might
history.
be a nobody team, but I think this might have been the corner that we turned because we just absolutely dominated.
I said it during the day that on Monday. I was telling a coworker, I said we got to have a game tonight that is like a 92-53 game. We just got to take care of business. Said it in our group text, and we took care of business.
We were up 30-something to
I think you're right.
6. At one point.
Depends on how tomorrow goes. We could have made that turn. So
I hope so.
Yeah, anyway. No, I'm gonna go like 78-75. I think it's tight. I think it's a great matchup. I'm excited to see the Twins get after it and see what happens and
see which one's better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think you're going to be playing two totally different games there. I think the Illinois Big Z, he's like, according to radio earlier, he's more of an inside big man. And our Big Z is going to be playing kind of on stretch swing. He's going to be popping from the perimeter, lots of stuff like that. One thing I've got going on for us is somebody will say, they'll look at our game against East Maryland, whatever was going on, and it was just murder ball.
Yeah.
But you know what it was for us? It was a shooter like John L. Davis may be getting his start. Now, according to DJ Williams, statistically, John L. finds his shot sometimes in November, sometimes January, sometimes in December. If he even remotely finds it early and opens that option for us, that is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Also, who's our point guard behind Boogie Flan if something happened to him? I believe the freshman, which, most of our team's freshmen, I believe the freshman that got reps against this game, especially when you look at Carter Knox and Billy Richmond.
Yeah.
Billy Richmond is skyrocketing as one of my favorite dudes on the team right now.
He had 14 off the bench.
He did, and we have to have bench production.
And Knox, 21 off the bench, yeah.
I remember somebody made the comparison of Billy Richmond's game as far as how he fits in freshman year Devo Davis.
Yeah.
I don't know how obscure that is. I'm not a basketball dude. My mom loves basketball. Wanted me and my brother to be good at it, but we were garbage at basketball. It was football only for us. Track and field football. That's it. She was disappointed. I love to watch basketball. I don't know what's going on, but I know good stuff when I see it, like oops and dunks. And I think this team offensively is cohesive for Arkansas. Sure, we're struggling and we're going to get better. We have a smaller roster than other people, but you can't look at this and say that the Calipari coaching time at Arkansas is not going to be something special.
Yeah.
And I believe that we've got a good chance. And for some reason, about a 5-point margin's been stuck in my head all day based on what I was listening to on the radio earlier. And I'm kind of agreeing with y'all. It's going to be somewhere around the high 70s or maybe low 80s for us getting around a 5 or so point win, 5 to 10 point win over the Fighting Illini. Fighting for whatever. So, yeah, we're going to beat them.
There you go. Well, all picking dubs for basketball. And
I just remember Calipari saying, remember that quote he said, I think it was after the Kansas game. He said, I'm not letting Z. You ready? Shoot any threes. And then he's now like our best 3-point shooter by far,
He's close like
percentage-wise.
60%.
He's hit the most. He's percentage the best. I mean, he's the best 3-point shooter by far that we've got. And it's just funny to me that he said that. Now he's shooting them at will.
Yeah. Well, cool. All right. Well, hey, happy Thanksgiving. Hope everyone out there enjoyed this episode. Much more organized this time than the last time. It was kind of a SS crap show, I'll say. Last
a little
cast,
bit more to talk about positively.
Yeah, we interjected a couple more topics, had a guest, which was awesome. So, but yeah, happy Thanksgiving. Go Hogs, everyone out there. Appreciate it. And
Go Hogs. Happy Turkey
Whoop
Day.
big. Yeah, appreciate it.